Hello and welcome to another episode of One Fall WrestleCast Live. Tom and I have a lot we'd like to talk about today. Saturday night's main event. We have a new women's NXT World Champion, Logan Paul. Got a message for his haters. And Bronson Reed has returned. And it sounds like somebody's about to wah, 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 squeal like a little piggy. Tom and I can't wait to talk to you. Let's make it happen because Mike just not cooperating in the slightest. Might just have to bring him in. All right. Here he comes. This is so just terrible.
Throwing up ones. There we go.
Buddy, I got nothing here. Like,
Throwing up ones. Here we go. I don't know why I'm Tom freaking Rollins. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
It doesn't make a whole lot of sense that every single week that this happens.
And it's different buttons that don't work.
Yeah, it's extremely frustrating.
I'm sorry.
Extremely frustrating.
Sorry you don't have the fiber optic network that is Verizon Fios. Anywho, it's the world famous.
How you doing, man?
Did you know that if you Google us, we're a famous podcast written or hosted by Walt and Tom, and sometimes Derek. Google says we're famous. Ashley asked who Derek is.
Oh, Derek's the little guy that used to be in the third pane.
He's the little guy that used to be here sometimes. He's just a little guy. We used to give him booster seats. We used to get him booster seats when he'd meet us at the bar.
Man, we're funny.
We're hilarious. It was hilarious every time. It was just as hilarious the third time as it was the first time. Maybe that's why he doesn't talk to us anymore.
No, I don't think it's that. Hey, so your mustache is looking very mustachy.
Mustachy? I'm trying to pull Dominic Mysterio, I guess.
Yeah, but your hair's not fucking greasy enough.
Yeah, I couldn't pull off a mullet either. It would just kind of be just like it would come out like this. So yeah.
Mine currently might be greasy enough, huh?
I mean, you were at work though. I was like, I mean, I guess I was at work, but like my work is like this computer here, and then I talk to this one, and you're in. That's how that works.
So speaking of
same chair,
greasy hair and dominant mustaches, Dominic Mysterio said the only time I would ever ruin my marriage is if there's oh my goodness gracious, is if someone decided to tell me, hey, I'm gonna give you an In-N-Out restaurant, but you have to leave your wife. I'm totally doing it. Stephanie McMahon says you're gonna do it just for a restaurant. Dominic Mysterio says, but it's not just a restaurant, it's an In-N-Out. And that's via What's Your Story with Stephanie McMahon. Stephanie McMahon is just hitting the ground running with some of these like interview type shows. She's obviously got Stephanie's Places on ESPN, and now she seems to have this What's Your Story podcast show thing. She's really getting out there and hitting the ground running, isn't she?
I appreciate that everybody that's already been on there. A lot of it's like she's just been talking to Triple H a lot, which is funny because apparently this is just happening in their house because like that's where they are. So he's there a lot. And yeah, anything with Dom is hilarious. Dominic Mysterio by himself is also hitting the ground running pretty hard. He's been on Chris Van Vliet a few times lately. He was on Logan Paul's podcast a couple times. He was just on something else too. Maybe it was before WrestleMania. But yeah, Dom's doing great work. Dom with Steph is great work. I love how well Dom keeps kayfabe. I really do. And like
that's what I was just getting ready to say, man. This guy gets it.
He breaks it a little bit sometimes, but like he then snaps right back to it every time. And it's just like, man, is he like he is right now what the poster child should be for. All right, how do we keep kayfabe? What is Dom Mysterio doing? Just do that. Like that's everything Dom Mysterio is doing is what you should do. Everything that's character driven, everything about your character, that's real. Now, if you want to talk about his marriage, his wife, his anything else, go for it. That's great. He'll answer you honestly and sincerely. Same thing with the tendies. I feel like those are very sincere answers. When people are like, so how often do you have chicken tenders? He's like, well, it depends on whether or not they're available. And it's like, what kind of answer is that? But it's the perfect answer. And now they're giving him nuggets, like chicken nuggets.
Yeah, it's
it's perfect. He's been great. So Dominic, maybe he's already the best Mysterio on the mic. We'll say that. Whether or not he ends up the best in the ring of all time, he's still got some mileage to go there. But on the mic, man, I don't know that there's anybody better at the moment than Dom.
I mean, the guy gets it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm here for it. I'm here for the rise of Dominic Mysterio's career, maybe potentially blossoming into something fucking legendary right before our very eyes. When just 5 short years ago, he was a bland white meat baby face. Just
he was a nepo hire. He was a nepo baby.
Yeah, man.
Then he turned on his dad in front of Edge and grew a mustache. And it hasn't slowed down. The only problem is he's so good at it, he doesn't get booed anymore.
Yeah, that is a problem. That's a fucking big problem. Yeah, so really interested in the future of Dom Mysterio. I thought you would appreciate that.
I did, and I saw the clip that you're referring to, and it's fantastic, and I love what Stephanie's doing because I always liked Stephanie, oh
yeah,
it's nice to see that she hasn't missed a beat and she's still very good, and obviously is probably one of the foremost living scholars of pro wrestling, just growing up in it, certainly of WWE anyway. She is the scholar in all of that, so it's good to see her still being involved in putting her expertise to use for all of our enjoyment.
Yep. Shout out to Stephanie McMahon. And somebody that's not going to get the opportunity to show us their expertise for some time is one Zoe Starks. Let's talk about that.
That was hard to watch. She came off the rope to do that missile drop kick. I don't know if Kairi Sane was not where she was supposed to be, or if it was supposed to be like a missed drop kick. And anyway, Zoe put her feet down, and her knee went that way, and her foot went that way, and it everything went whoosh, and everybody stopped. Everybody sat down, like Rhea and because that was who else was in the match, it was Rhea and Kairi Sane. Everybody sat down. Like it was like everybody took a knee, like in soccer when somebody's hurt. Everybody sat down. That doesn't happen. They threw up the X, rolled her the fuck out of there because it looked awful. And then if you go back and watch, the clip exists on Twitter or X or Twix or however we want to call it these days. The clip exists, and maybe I even saw it I maybe even shared it on Instagram. But it was, oh boy, It hurt. Watching the clip in slow motion hurt me. And I'm clearly not, I don't even know what a wrestling ring feels like. But apparently she'll be out 6 months to a year, and best wishes to Zoe, because I think Zoe's really good. But that bump was nasty, and hopefully she recovers from it, because that did not look, it looked terrible.
Yeah, certainly did not look great. So T's and P's up to Zoe Stark. Hopefully she can come back from that one, Bub, because that was that was probably one of the more horrific accident type injuries that I have seen in the ring. In my fandom,
especially right on hard cam, right like that. Like the hard cam caught the whole thing, and they were able to, like, the internet was able to zoom in and slow down and just watch things go the wrong way. And it was like, do you remember when Dante Martin jumped and his ankle broke and went in AEW? It wasn't quite that, but it was that level of like, oh, everybody at home was, oh God. So yeah, thoughts and prayers to Zoe Stark.
Yeah, for sure. Hey Tom, I want to flip the script here a little bit. And I know that you're just chomping at the bit to get to Saturday night's main event, and I can't wait to get there with you. But I have a very, very pressing question that the internet asked me this week.
Oh boy.
And I'm going to ask you.
Oh boy.
And that question was, do you remember Scorpio Sky?
Yeah. What happened to him? He died?
Great. So Scorpio Sky has no idea what he said that annoyed someone and resulted in the now normal AEW approach of just ghosting talent they don't want. Scorpio Sky hasn't wrestled in AEW since September of 2023. A vignette aired for a potential return in August of 24, but he never made his live return to television. Scorpio Sky says, "My career has taken a nosedive, hasn't it?" And he's laughing, and he's on his Creating Character podcast. So this is his own podcast, and he says this, that things have been a little different over the past couple years. Scorpio asked his co-host, James Willems, for his perspective as an outsider on how it looks with him, with Scorpio not being on television. They noted that they would think Scorpio is injured. Scorpio's interview with Chris Van Vliet was brought up. I love that show. To be honest with you, I didn't lie when I was on the show, but I definitely went out of my way to not make the company look bad. I really obviously wanted to preserve a relationship that has been built over a number of years, and I didn't want to say anything that would poison that relationship. Come to find out, someone there still maybe has a few issues with some of the things I may have said. Now I'm like, screw it. I'm going to say whatever the hell I want now. Scorpio Sky says this.
Mm-hmm.
Scorpio's interview with CVV aired in July of 2024. Fans can read his comments regarding his AEW acts. Adding to the link here, blah, blah, blah. Scorpio continued, "It's not something that has been on my mind. I don't think about it too much, but sometimes I do wonder, what is the perspective? Do people think I'm not profile because I suck? Maybe I don't have it anymore. I'm hurt. Do they think that there's some bad blood? The reality is I don't know what it is. I don't know if there is bad blood or there isn't. I know I'm healthy, and I've been healthy for a long time, and I've been wanting to compete. It's just one of those things where, what can you do? You only have so much say. You have this much," and he holds his fingers like this, say. You do what you can. Willems referenced Family Matters and how the show started as a vehicle for the Winslow family but became centered around Steve Urkel after his breakout performances. He noted that it's just because it's easier to write the show around Urkel than the original premise. Sky referenced his dog, saying he has a lot of toys but doesn't play with any of them. And he was told to give the dog just 2 toys to limit his options and possibly get him more active. It is unknown if Scorpio Sky will return to AEW TV.
I wasn't sure Scorpio Sky was still employed by AEW.
So Scorpio Sky said, comparing Tony Khan to his dog.
Yeah. Because there's too many toys to play with?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just like, that's gross, right? Like, just leaving dudes in catering. Like, we gave Vince shit for that. And like they're not even leaving him in catering. He just doesn't go to work anymore. They just pay a contract that whatever the contract minimum was, because that's how that shit works. And I don't know, man. Like, what the fuck's going on with AEW?
This is just another glaring example of the mismanagement of the company.
And like Scorpio Sky was your first, like they were your first
tag team champions.
Him and Chris Daniels were their first tag team champions. And then they had stuff with
SCU.
Yeah, SCU was a big deal. That was a big deal. It was good stuff. That was like when AEW was actually good for, like, that was a good part of when AEW was good.
I think when he was the TNT champion, that was a good chunk of when AEW was really good.
Yeah, for sure. He was one of the better AEW champions, because that fell apart shortly after his AEW championship run. Man, I don't know. It seems to me like everybody that, other than the Bucks and Kenny, everybody who built the company, and I guess to a degree Jericho, but Jericho's just in a weird spot and has been for a long time. Like everybody who like built the company is just sort of like being left. Like same thing happened to Britt Baker.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I pissed somebody off. Now I don't work anymore. What's going on? These are people that got reactions. People that got big reactions when they were still drawing big crowds. Now they're in fucking little theaters and middle school bathrooms and stuff, and the crowd goes mild. Like these are people that that were getting big pops and stuff. People that were the indie darlings that people wanted to see, and now we're not seeing them, and it's just a bunch of the old WWE guys that WWE let go. Mox gets crickets now. A lot of these guys do, and it's like nobody's getting over, everybody's getting under. The most thing you hear about AEW now in the dirt sheets is just, oh, do you hear what Will Ospreay said about WWE? It's like, well, okay, but you're having a hard time selling out this middle school gymnasium here, and they're still selling out, baseball fields. So I don't know what to think of it, but like, what the level of mismanagement that's going on over in AEW is just, it's astounding. It's almost like they're trying. And that being said, the product hasn't been as bad. It's still not great. I mean, you've got Lance Archer, that's his name, coming in there and just choke slamming all your guys from like your TNT champs, and Adam Cole and Roddy Strong got double choke slammed this week, and so they look like chooches. I don't know that Lance Archer's a guy that anybody thinks is a credible contender for anything. It's just, Mercedes Moné squashes everybody. That's not any fun. Toni Storm is still entertaining, but she's playing second fiddle to Mercedes, who I'm sure is going to beat her for the TNT's title soon. Anybody that goes there, you think your Malachi Blacks, think your Miros, immediately leaves and comes back like, oh, thank God I'm out of there. You're CM Punk. Thank God. Holy shit, I didn't want to be there anymore. And it's like, that's what you hear. It's like this sigh of relief, like, oh boy, don't put me back in there. That was not, nobody was there to get over, everybody was there to get under. So I don't know. And like, this is just another one. Like, and he's an AEW original, man. Like, what? You just gonna leave the AEW originals at home?
Yeah. So I feel like I've been a broken record with this every time we talk about AEW. We're like going to be 7 years into this, 6 years into this thing in October. And like they still don't have an identity of what they want to be. Like,
They had an identity and then it went away, and now they're like the TNA. Like when Dixie Carter took over, they just brought in all the old washed up WWF guys, and let's see how this goes.
yeah, but now TNA is is on WWE's payroll, and it's just a matter of time until TNA overtakes AEW as the number 2 wrestling product.
Yeah.
You know, it's already close.
I mean, Trick Williams is now their champion.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say Trick Williams beat that's crazy. That's crazy.
It is
it's
crazy.
Just a matter of time. I believe, say his name, and he appears. I believe in Trick Williams. Whoop that trick.
It's one of those things too, where it's like you thought, you know, if you think back to the time when like they were competing with NXT for ratings, and they were both hitting around the 900,000 1 million mark. You know, those during the Adam Cole, Tommaso Ciampa NXT era of that, like where they could basically do no wrong. And you know, you still had that like inner circle. Cody Rhodes was still there, kind of like
Adam Cole.
Bebe?
Is that the
guy that used to be on Jungle Boy and is now getting chokeslammed by Lance Archer on Wednesdays? Yeah, that's him.
Oh, I don't remember seeing him on TV much these days.
That's because this week he got beat up by Lance Archer, and to your point, no, I don't think he's been on TV in a month. But he is the TNT champion still, I think. Let me make sure of that.
Oh,
I didn't see him lose it, but that doesn't mean anything.
Interesting.
It is still Adam Cole, baby.
Okay, cool. So I think that I would be doing us and the internet a disservice if I didn't ask. You know, what's to say that at the end of this, Scorpio Sky doesn't wind up in WWE? Do you think that that's a fit for Scorpio Sky? Or have we not been exposed enough to Scorpio Sky as a mainstream to bring him in to WWE's fold?
How old is Scorpio Sky is the question.
I want to say he's in his 40s.
Yeah, he's older than we are. He's 42. So that's tough because right now WWE has a lot of young talent. If this was 5 years ago and Triple H was still just looking to, not even 5 years ago, 4 years ago, a couple years ago, 3-ish years ago, and Triple H was looking to bring in guys, you know, around his age. You think when LA Knight kind of broke in to WWE. LA Knight's now 45, but LA Knight's now been around for 5 years, for 4 or 5 years, you know. It's been a while.
And LA Knight's about to win Money in the Bank and then be the new world champion.
It's entirely possible.
The internet would have you conspire.
I mean, entirely possible. I don't think that is how it shakes out. But I mean, maybe. It'd be interesting to see him walk.
There's a conspiracy theory, and we'll get into it when we talk about Saturday night's main event.
So, but you know, I think
my computer's doing that thing again.
You seem fine on this end, but I feel like, you know, if it was a few years ago, maybe. But I think at 42, they're not going to put him. They can't put him right on the main roster. He's not well known enough. They would have to put him through NXT to kind of build him up a little bit. But at 42, is that something they're going to do? I would venture a guess to say no, not in 2025. Maybe 3 years ago, prior to Vince McMahon going away. But I think that the future hires are going to be, you know, young up and coming stars. And I think the older guard, regardless of how well, you know, how well they're received on the indies, I don't see a whole lot of them coming in and doing anything significant as far as an on television persona. Now, Could Scorpio Sky come in and immediately be, part of the performance center and maybe, be some sort of a backstage agent in WWE? Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know if, he's got the right connections to do that, or if he's got the know-how or even the want to. But I think at 42, I don't see him coming in and being a on-screen week in, week out performer. Anything more than, what Shayna Baszler was prior to her getting released. And I don't think that there would be a spot for him in WWE at this point. Maybe 5 years ago, but not now.
No, and I think that that's a fair assessment on the situation. And, quite honestly, I might be in the minority here, but I'm kind of disappointed that he didn't get a little bit of a better shake on AEW television, because I thought his TNT championship reign was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, all things considered, particularly what happened afterwards. I mean, he had time, and I thought he put on some good matches. I
did the whole thing with Ethan Page.
Yeah, that whole thing was great. I mean, Ethan Page, if you want to talk about another guy that AEW fumbled pretty hard. I mean, Ethan Page has been 10 times the star he was in NXT that he was in AEW. And, they barely had to repackage him at all. Instead to give him a little more time, put a microphone in his hand. And he's their top heel now, and he has been for the last year. So, I think that, it kind of all goes back to, a few things, like the politics being a little too politicky, and Tony just not really knowing what he's doing. And, I mean, why would he know what he's doing? He's never done this before. And, his experience is basically, well, I started AEW and I listened to what Cody Rhodes said, and these other people, I listened to what they said, and now they're gone and I don't listen to them anymore. And now I do what I want. Sometimes I listen to what Daniel Bryan says, but he's not here. So I just do what I want. And sometimes it sucks and sometimes it doesn't. And Jon Moxley does what he wants, and Chris Jericho does what he wants. And Samoa Joe goes out there and makes, chicken salad out of chicken shit. But even that's, kind of ends up being a little bit lackluster. Things don't go anywhere. This is AEW is starting to feel like Vince McMahon era WWE, like late Vince McMahon era WWE, like 2018, because like stuff will happen and they'll plant seeds, and then those seeds will completely get washed away and forgotten about. And, nothing is a better descriptor of that than the Scorpio Sky little vignette that played a couple years ago. And I remember this vignette as well. And nothing materialized. He never showed back up to TV. They recorded a vignette, they played it on TV, and that was the last thing we saw of him. And that would have been 2024, probably 8 months ago now. And we haven't seen him now for almost 2 years.
Yep.
And he's not been hurt.
Nope. Doesn't sound like it now, does it?
No.
So, I don't know. I think that this could be one of the biggest Tony fumbled pieces of business that AEW has, is one Scorpio Sky. So hopefully they get that figured out, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's the only way we see Scorpio Sky on TV ever again, is if they get it figured out in AEW, because I don't think there's places for him anywhere else. I mean, maybe TNA as some kind of legacy talent, but even there, it's, I think his biggest potential remains in AEW as an AEW original, and I think that it's disrespectful to leave, and a guy who sort of put the company on his shoulders when it was just this upstart, don't know what's going to happen, how we're going to do this. Let's just put it on our shoulders and run with it. And, Tony had enough faith in him to put, their tag team titles on it, which they said at that time, tag team wrestling is going to be important in AEW.
They certainly did. And
now we're treating our first ever tag team champion as though he couldn't be less important. So, I don't know what that says to fans. I know it says to me that nobody ever really had a plan. Nobody knows what they're doing. And it's clearly the problem is shown on television, that there is a problem. The product suffers because of it. And I, can only surmise from the guys who end up escaping AEW and their relief to escape back into what apparently was an oppressive regime over in WWE. Their escape from AEW back to WWE has only sort of fueled that fire and those thoughts of like, well, nobody fucking knows what's going on over there.
I mean, Scorpio Scott said he asked his buddy what the perception is, and I mean, I think we about summed it up. The perception is it's just fucking bad business.
Well, and I'm going to pose this question to you. If you're an AEW original and you think that it's bad business and like you were an AEW original top guy, one of the first champions, and they're leaving you hanging for seemingly no good reason. Yeah. What does this say to other talent? Why would other talent want to come to AEW after they've seen what they've done to those who were, again, the originals? Because you can only, while Britt Baker was a problem backstage, well, he didn't really get along with anybody, with somebody back there. You can only do that so many times. Eventually, the common denominator needs to come back to, this is bad back here. This is a toxic area. We saw it with WCW.
Yeah.
The locker room fell apart first.
Yep.
It seems like the locker room's already fallen apart. Ticket sales have already fallen off a cliff. They can put a good show together here and there, but like it's very inconsistent. And it seems like it's only going to go on as long as Tony's willing to keep writing the checks, because it's not going to make money.
There you go. There you go. Scorpio Sky, man, we feel like you deserve much, much better. Hey, you know the chick that designed the NWO logo never made a dime off of that?
She didn't? I didn't know that.
No. In the summer of 1996, a young Disney artist was given 1 hour to design a logo. She wasn't a wrestling fan and didn't even know what NWO stood for. But what she created became the most iconic symbol in wrestling history. She was never credited, never paid.
I mean, to be fair, it seems like she just put a lowercase n, a capital W, and a lowercase o, and fucked off for the next 58 minutes, if I'm being fair.
Yeah, I mean, you never cease to amaze me.
I'm not.
We're done.
This isn't it's not like she designed like Goldberg's tattoo. Like, what did we design here?
Although little Goldberg got Dad's tattoo on his opposite arm today. It was all over the internet.
Yeah, I saw that. It was interesting, but I mean,
hey man, how was that kid 6 5 years ago and now he's in college?
I don't know. He seemed to grow up real fast. I mean, maybe he looked like 6. I don't think they told us how old he was. Maybe they said he was 16, but he sure looked 6. But now, yeah, he's a grown ass man.
I don't know. I just think about that every time I see his picture.
He certainly looked like a child. We'll put it that way. Although they may have said he was 16, but he certainly looked about 11.
So some big news this week. Apparently WWE canceled WrestleMania 42.
Yeah, rescheduled
in
New Orleans.
In New Orleans and rescheduled it.
Yep, sure did.
In Vegas?
Sure did. So we've erased everything The Rock did last year is basically what happens. Because remember, they brought The Rock out to say that New Orleans was where WrestleMania 42 was going to be. So everything that The Rock has done, Cody Rhodes' soul, whatever else, the WrestleMania announcement, there was something else he did too.
Travis Scott.
Travis Scott, yeah, all that's canceled.
Yeah, because Travis Scott just like was supposed to have a tag match at Money in the Bank, and he was just like, "No, I'm good."
Yeah, everything's been canceled. As far as anything The Rock touched has now been canceled. Everybody decided all of that sucked. We're not doing any of those things. WrestleMania is going to get, you know what? We're just going back to Las Vegas. It's there. It's easy. We're just going to do it there. It's where our headquarters is now. UFC's there. We're just going to do it in Vegas. Let's fuck it. Like, we're not bringing these, like, who knows what's going to happen in New Orleans between now and then? It may break off and fall into the sea. Fuck it. We're going to the desert. The desert will still be there.
The internet's up in arms about this, thinking that WWE is going to take up residency in Las Vegas for WrestleMania.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, does it facilitate it better? Because like so we were in Philly this last weekend to see Metallica, and we saw it at Lincoln Financial, and I gotta say, Philly has the infrastructure to do a major concert event like Metallica selling out Lincoln Financial, both all the seats and the fields for a Friday night and a Sunday night, because we stayed basically right like a block from where the Capitol building is, and we're downtown Philly, which is very nice, by the way. Downtown Philly, I give Philly a bad rap. I don't like Philly, but you know what? When I'm in Philly, I do like Philly, and the food is very good, and the people aren't as bad as I make them out to be, as long as you're not in the Flyers arena. As long as you're not at a sports show, Philly's not as bad. But the thing that impressed me the most was the ability for me to stay in my hotel, which was in downtown Philly, which was relatively affordable. I mean, obviously things were a little jacked up because there was a sold out Metallica show for the whole weekend. But stay in my hotel, which was very nice in downtown Philly. Wander over to their little metro station, bleep my card, which cost me $2 whole to get on the thing, get all the way to the stadium, which was like a 15-minute ride. It's way outside the city, like a little quick, like little bloop, all the way to the stadium. Popped out, walked right in, scanned everything. Everything was nice. The only thing I'll say, Lincoln Financial needs more bathrooms, but that's just me being old. They have tons of places to get drinks and food, just nowhere to pee. So, they're good on the drinks and food, nowhere to pee. But, I was at a Metallica show. It was probably 80% guys to 20% girls, so I could see how the guys' bathroom could back up. That being said, the infrastructure of us just getting in and then getting back out was about as seamless as humanly possible.
Well, let's talk about getting out of Allegiant Stadium after a massive fucking event. It's a goddamn nightmare, okay? It's a fucking logistical nightmare. There's absolutely zero parking, first of all. And you can't get an Uber in there unless you leave the show early.
Do they have like some kind of city? Is there a transit or something? Is there like a subway?
Yeah, but like Allegiant Stadium is literally like one road in and one road out because of the pedestrian traffic and how they close all of that down. It's a nightmare.
So so what you're saying is it is not big show friendly because it is a logistical nightmare to get in and out of there.
Yes, like we've been there a couple of times. We went to a Steelers Raiders game out there, and we had a party bus. It was for a work trip, but it was like 10 blocks away. And then the wife was at a Morgan Wallen concert out there, and they had to wait for like over 3 hours for an Uber to come and get them.
Yeah, that's not that doesn't okay. So it doesn't sound like Las Vegas meets the requirements to have said event in the same way that, say, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania would, because you're basically on an island. It's you, some stadiums, a bunch of parking lots, and the train pulling people in and out of there. That's more or less how Philadelphia is set up. And it seems like that is the kind of place you want to have WrestleMania, because let's face it, they want to sell as many WrestleMania tickets as humanly possible. And if that number is 250,000, they would try to sell 250,000 tickets. But they're not getting in and getting out, which has always been baffling to me, right? Hey, everybody, come to this thing. But you can't walk here. You can't drive here, though, because you can't park. So don't park here, because fuck you, but come anyway. By the way, it's $3,000. That shit's wild to me. So, yeah, I mean, that's real dumb. I'm not dumb enough. I don't think, I think the ship has sailed on me ever ending up at a WrestleMania in my lifetime. Unless for some reason it's like I get free tickets and also like helicoptered in. You know what? I wouldn't even ride a helicopter. Not after Kobe died. So none of that. So I don't think I'm ever going to go to WrestleMania. And it blows my mind that it would be the way that it is. So I don't know. But yeah, clearly they're just trying to erase everything that The Rock has done in the last year, and we're going to forget about him. I heard the other day that we're not going to see The Rock in WWE until 2027, which I think is kind of funny. But you know, I guess we'll see what happens.
You love it. You love it.
What, like shitting on The Rock? Like The Rock has pissed me off, man. Like
he's your all-time favorite.
He was, yeah. Like that's the thing is that like I was
like
up
he has first position on Mount Rushmore because the three of us agreed that he was top persona.
And he ruined it in a year. Took him 1 year. 1 year of being a dipshit.
Seems like we may need to debate a new Mount Rushmore.
We might need to.
Interesting.
We might need to.
Interesting. Because as it sits right now, we've got The Rock, Mick Foley, Shawn Michaels, and Stone Cold.
Mm-hmm. I'm good with the other three. The other three have not. In fact, if anything, Shawn Michaels has moved up. Because not only
do you remember how hard I had to fight to even get Shawn Michaels on The Rock?
I do. Yeah. If anything, Shawn Michaels has moved up. Stone Cold's place is still there. I don't think Mick has slipped at all either. But
no, he was in a goddamn car crash like a month and a half ago, and he's standing next to the totaled car like this.
What's funny is if you remember his Mick Foley entrance music, it started with car crash.
Yeah. The favorite narrative I read about this whole WrestleMania thing this week though was, oh my God, Vince would never let this happen. This is just a cash grab. Vince McMahon would have never fucking ran the same city 2 years in a row. Hey, anybody ever seen WrestleMania 5 and 6?
Mm-hmm.
Weren't they both in Atlantic City?
They sure were.
But weren't they? They were both. They were in a different building, though, right?
No.
But
wait, weren't 1 and 2 and both in Madison Square Garden, or was it 1 and 3?
Oh, no, 1 and 2. 2 was in 3 different arenas.
Oh, right. That was that
on the same night. Yeah, that train wreck.
Yeah.
I mean, you watch it. You watch you watch it now. Like it doesn't.
No, you'd never know.
You'd never know. But
it must have been bullshit to like buy tickets for one of those and just sit there like a dickhead most of the night.
Yeah, watching it on a big screen. Could you imagine if you were like at MSG, you kicked off the show and then like you just sat in the dark watching screens for the next 2 hours.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
But you've been
But
getting me
still,
matinee pricing on this double feature picture.
it's like, well, I gotta watch this at home. I didn't have to come here for the popcorn. I mean, I don't know what popcorn cost in MSG in whatever 1985 or whatever, but I mean, it couldn't have been cheap. It had to be at least $4, which was some people's weekly salary at that point, right? Is that how the 80s worked? I don't really remember. Did people make $4 a week in the 80s? I don't know. I feel like I make $4 a week this week, so like every week. So not much has changed.
That's inflation, pal. I don't know, man. I get it, but I think that what we ended up with this year was a very skewed WrestleMania audience. It felt very fair weather.
I mean, I was pretty critical of the WrestleMania.
Yeah, you were extremely critical of the Las Vegas crowd for the entirety of the weekend.
They fucking ruined a lot of segments. Like, let's not beat around ye old bush.
I thought you'd be a little bit more. I thought you'd be a little bit more up in arms about this whole subject. If I'm
not particularly up in arms about it right now, but once it goes the way that it went this year with the crowds again, I will be at that point. But I feel like that's what WrestleMania is going to be, regardless of what city it's in. Like, even if it was in like New Orleans, like it's still going to be the same crowd, more or less. You're not just going to get like fucking Cajun wrestling fans in there in New Orleans. Like, it's still going to be the hoity-toity, like, guys, the same guy who's willing to drop $3,000, like the same guy that's been to fucking every Super Bowl. Like, it's his kid who's been to every WrestleMania because they, live off the back of being, oil barons who are the children of fucking Andrew Carnegie or something. I don't know. Like, it's going to be the same group of like rich marks who were just there to see the spectacle and cheer the wrong things and boo the wrong things and not understand how anything works. But that's wrestling. And I thought about this today and I'm like, I'm glad it's growing, but man, like, it's growing and people have their hot takes because it's the internet still. And I feel like this is like kind of the thing where it's just like people want to spew their hot takes on the internet and it's like, well, why? Ooh, that's somebody who spews stupid hot takes. We got to talk about Jesse Ventura. But like, there's a lot of people who are just like, they have hot takes. And it's like, Triple H is ruining wrestling. And it's like, when did you start watching wrestling? Because you couldn't be more incorrect. But when did you start watching? Because that's the question I have when I see somebody say something like that. And I'm not saying that to say to them that like they should stop watching wrestling, because they shouldn't. Like, you should keep watching and keep forming wrestling opinions. Because when I was 8, I'm sure I had really stupid wrestling opinions. In fact, I know I did, because I fucking loved the Bushwhackers, who they were at Saturday Night. Well, Luke, Butch, one of them, whichever one's still alive, was at Saturday Night's main event. He looked fucking rough, though. Like, he looked like he had his face drawn on with a Sharpie. It's one of those things where it's just like, when you can tell when the fans aren't there, and I think we're just going to get more of that regardless of where WrestleMania is. But anyway, moving on.
So what you do on Saturday, bud?
I watched Saturday Night's Main. Well, first I drove back from Philadelphia because we saw Metallica, Limp Bizkit, and Ice Nine Kills on Friday.
How was Limp Bizkit?
Really fucking good. Like, okay, I was very skeptical going in, right? Because like they're about 10 years older than we are, maybe 12.
I mean, they were super popular whenever we were of age.
Yeah, when we were in high school, that shit was super popular. I loved them. To this day, I still love them. They played Hot Dog live.
Nice.
Which I still love. Ashley's new favorite song. They played, loved it. It started fucking pouring in the middle of their set. like the sky just opened up and like did not phase them at all. Fred was like, "Bring on the rain," and just kept going in the rain. And like you could see like John Otto like just fucking banging on the like water splashing off his cymbals and shit. It was fucking awesome is what it was. They did play Break Stuff twice because the first time they played it was kind of in the middle of their set while everybody was hiding from the rain because quite frankly, we all knew Metallica was going to play 2 hours. And as cool as it is to stand in the rain and watch a concert, it was like 50 degrees outside. So being soaked to the bone and then standing for 3 more hours to watch the rest of Limp Bizkit and Metallica play was just probably a poor decision for any human being. Anyway, so we didn't all do that, but they did play Break Stuff twice because they played it in the middle of their set and then they closed with it as well. And he was like, all right, like Fred had kind of explained it, but like it was awesome. And I would not, if I was you and you get the chance to see Limp Bizkit live in 2025, I would do that. I would also see Ice Nine Kills live if I were you because they kill live. It's great.
Awesome.
Also, Metallica's fantastic. They're still Metallica.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
You go and you're just like, this is fucking Metallica. And they play for 2 hours and it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's still an unbelievable show. I've seen them 3 times now. Unbelievable every time. It seems like it gets better. They were better this time than they were last time.
Great. Glad to hear it. So I wanna.
But Saturday night. All right, let's let you get situated. Are you done? Oh, there you go. Okay, before we get into this,
so
segment of the week, ladies and gentlemen,
kick of the day, right? The Air Jordan 3 Black Cement. Do you know why I wore this shoe today, Tom?
To match your awesome shirt?
Sure, yeah, but you know who else had these on this weekend?
Who?
A returning Bronson Reed.
Yes, he did. Oh, God. Okay, we're talking about that first. Okay, we're talking about Saturday night's main event. That's the other thing I was doing when I got back from Saturday. I was pumped. I'm like, I don't remember if I texted you or not, but I'm like, oh my God, we're going to find out who the third man is this fucking weekend. Because every time Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker and Paul Heyman were out there, they were getting bombarded by 3 people, whether it was Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, CM Punk, all 3 of those guys were out there kind of fucking with Seth and his boys, and Paul Heyman's not helping anybody. Let's be fair. He's not there to be the muscle. And 3-on-2 is not very fair in modern day WWE because nobody is 2 people or 3 people in modern day WWE. We're not talking 3-on-1 matches with the Undertaker, where the Undertaker pins all 3 people going, ah! That's not going to happen. So there needed to be a third man, and we knew a third man was coming. The internet has been a speculating for a long time. A lot of people were like, oh man, I hope it's Austin Theory. And that would have been cool, but I don't know that made as much sense in kayfabe. My thought was, man, what if it's Bronson Reed? Because Bronson Reed has history with Seth Rollins, although he tried to kill him. But you have Paul Heyman, easily explainable away. And if you put Bronson Reed in there, man, are you just taking the guy who is Seth Rollins, who's already a top guy, very established top guy. What is he, 8-time WWE champion?
Something like that.
And you are putting him with 2 big studs, guys who are young, hungry, and are clearly could be top guys. You basically are setting up Seth Rollins for an evolution type group. And that's what everybody saw, right? And so it's like, what 2 young up and coming guys are you going to put with Seth Rollins to do this? Austin Theory would have also been a great pick within kayfabe. I don't think it works. I think he and Grayson Waller need to have a big feud, and I think that needs to be important to hopefully elevate both of those guys, because I think they're both very, very good. And I think that just pulling one of them away buries the other.
I agree.
But the returning Bronson Reed, one big pop for his return, because the guy went out as part of a main event of, what was that? It was
War Games.
War Games, Survivor Series. Went out as part of the main event of Survivor Series. Broke his ankle, like doing the biggest tsunami I've ever seen. Like, holy shit. Like, what a spot still. It liquefied his ankle, clearly. But, we rebuilt him. They did rebuild him. And the big man came back and immediately made his presence felt. And I thought that was just mwah. And then on Monday, Paul Heyman explained it, although the internet's like, this doesn't make any sense. Why? There was no explanation given. Did you not watch Raw? There was an explanation given right at the beginning of Raw. Seth Rollins is such a benevolent God that he took the man that tried to kill him, decided to elevate him and make him part of the future. And like, Paul Heyman delivered that beautifully. I'm sorry you don't listen to the in-ring promos before you spew your internet nonsense. But it was perfect. It was perfect. It's the Homelander thing. It was absolutely perfect. Also, that match fucking ruled. Just gonna say.
Pretty dope.
Kicked it off. That match fucking ruled. That's all I got to say about that. Saturday night's main event moved on. What was the next match? Was that the United States title match?
Yes.
That match sucked.
Yes.
Zelina Vega. I would not be surprised if this week Jordynne Grace comes up to SmackDown and gets called up, immediately calls out Zelina Vega, and immediately beats her for the title this week. Not because it was planned and that was the plan all along, but because Zelina Vega was so off her game at Saturday night's main event. And she's been sort of a flimsy champion anyway. I wasn't real happy when she beat Chelsea, who was doing a lot of good character work and still having pretty decent matches. Zelina Vega is not doing very good character work, and she looks bad in the ring, and which is hard to say because I genuinely like her and I thought she was very good, but I don't know if it's nerves or what. I mean, I'd be nervous, but she fucking botched that 619 real bad. Stopped, kicked Chelsea in the nose, broke her nose, even though it looked like shit. Chelsea comes out. Chelsea's going viral just for like the bloody nose pictures.
Yep.
At least she's getting some mileage out of that. So yeah, I wouldn't. That was a rather poor showing. What was the match after that for Saturday night's main event?
John Cena and R-Truth.
Oh yeah, John Cena and R-Truth. More of a segment than a match, really. Although
About 4.5 minutes.
Yeah, more of a segment, 4.5 minutes. I really like this John Cena heel run, and I feel like I'm the only one. What do you think?
I think that after Backlash, he added a little layer to the character, right? Like, does he regret doing this way?
I mean, maybe, but like,
I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
I really just.
I thought the match was actually pretty solid.
I thought it was great. I thought that it got everything that it deserved to get. I'm just, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, I'm here to ruin wrestling. And he cut the promo on, what was it? No, it was during Saturday night's main event. After he left, because he talked to Jey Uso, and he told Jey, like, man, imagine if Logan Paul beats you and the champions are me and a YouTuber, and then I leave and take the title. That would almost ruin wrestling. And it's just like, man, just like leaning into the ruining wrestling as the internet is like, this is ruining wrestling. It's like,
he told you he was going to ruin wrestling.
Told you.
I mean, I'm here for it. Like, I'm not. I'm not against it. I'm here for it.
And that goes back to my point to the people not listening to the promos, because Paul Heyman explained perfectly why Bronson Reed was there, but still Twitter on Tuesday was like, this makes no sense. There's no explanation. Like, yeah, Paul Heyman said that he explained it. Literally the first segment of the show. You don't even, it's on Netflix. You can just pull it up and watch the first segment. Paul Heyman explains exactly why. It's the perfect explanation. They're standing there in fucking black suits looking fucking mean as hell. Anyway. They're pandering to me is all that's happening right now. Is they're pandering to me. They're rubbing salt in like the wounds of the people that that want to have like hot takes, but like don't watch, like only watch like little clips here and there of like what the like highlight is, but they don't watch the whole thing. They're pandering to me. They're just burning. They're rubbing salt in the wounds of the people that don't watch the whole thing and who are just have the like little like they were just watching it via like Instagram reels. They're pandering to me, and I love it. Pander to me more. I love you all. I will buy more t-shirts, I promise.
Damian Priest defeats Drew McIntyre via escaping the cage.
We had to talk about Jesse Ventura.
I mean, I teed you up, buddy.
All right. Okay, so this match as a whole, I loved. And I love Damian Priest walking out. Because let's face it, Drew's got the better of Damian Priest. Not the last time they met, because it was that like triple threat, or no, it was the fatal 4-way for the Intercontinental title. But they destroyed each other, and then this is what happened. What came to this? So Jesse Ventura, this is now the fourth time he's had, or is it the third or fourth time he's been on Saturday Night's Main Event, and he's called a match. Every time he calls a match, it becomes painfully obvious that Jesse Ventura, one, doesn't watch the product, two, doesn't understand the rules of the match, and three, couldn't care less about anything that's going on in the ring. So to start out, before the match even starts, Jesse Ventura starts talking to Pat McAfee about Jesse Ventura himself being the only person that's ever come off of commentary and jumped into a match and then gone back to commentary. That obviously woefully untrue. That happened a bazillion times. Macho Man did it. Jerry the King Lawler did it. Michael Cole did it. Michael Cole was sitting right there and tried to correct Jesse at that moment. That's what happened.
Not necessarily. All he said was, well, Jesse, I'll have you know I'm undefeated at WrestleMania.
Right. But still, Michael Cole had done it. Michael Cole sitting right there. So it's not a unique thing. And in fact, he was sitting next to two people who had done it before. Our dearly departed Massey, who is now in AEW, who is actually doing good work in AEW, Mason Mansoor, Eminem modeling in AEW, doing good work. He has done it before. Dio Madden, because he was on commentary. He has done it before. So Jesse just sort of out of touch there decided to give a fact that wasn't a fact. It wasn't even like a sort of remote thing. I don't know where he came up with that, but whatever. Anyway, going through the match, Jesse doesn't seem to understand who's who, what's what, or why anybody's fighting. It seems very low effort on Jesse's part, and that's what I'll call it, is low effort. And I, at this point, I sort of expect more out of the governor. It's not a good look to be low effort. And Jesse, it was not a good look just on Jesse's part. And then the creme de la creme, with Damian Priest walking out of the cage at the end after giving the concerto, which Michael Cole properly sold as he has not used this. He got this from his former mentor from the Judgment Day, Edge. I don't know that Michael Cole actually mentioned Edge.
He did.
Okay. But yeah, concertoed Drew clearly dead, got his head smashed in, and Damian Priest walked out, looked back before walking out the door, walked down the steps. This was clearly a
what a great fucking ending to this feud, though.
a beautiful ending.
Like, let's not gloss over the fact that this was as long of a feud as we have seen in WWE in some time.
It started at WrestleMania 40.
39.
Was it really 39?
Fairly certain it was 39.
I thought it was 40 when Drew cashed in.
Yes, it was 40.
Well, no, because Drew didn't cash in. Drew won, and then Priest cashed in.
Yeah, it was 40.
Because Priest was Senior Money in the Bank.
Yes.
And they had little interactions prior, but that was great. And then Priest cashed in. Drew was champion for 5 minutes.
Yep.
And Priest cashed in, took it from him. Had a great run as the champ. Great run.
Grew every single week in front of us on television.
Fantastic. What a good run. Honestly, all the heavyweight championship runs have been very meaningful and good.
Yes.
Since it's been reintroduced. I would say Gunther's has probably been the least exciting, but even his, I thought
it was meaningful.
It was meaningful, and I thought was, for the most part, good. It just wasn't the best, but to have that one be the least impressive is still they've all been impressive.
Yes.
So, but back to Jesse, because at this point Jesse starts questioning the rules. You can't just walk out of the cage. You can't just walk out the door. That's not the rule. What a coward! What about I'm sure he didn't have the script, and he wasn't scripted. He wasn't, but completely irrelevant. Not to just go into the history, cage matches were set up in the WWF in the 70s because a dastardly heel would do dastardly shit to Bruno Sammartino during his 2000 whatever day reign. And he would not be able to catch them because he was a big, huge, hulking dude. So the cage matches were set up so that they couldn't get away, and Bruno just smashed the shit out of him until he was done, and then he walked out of the cage. So walking out of the cage through the door has been a thing since the 70s. Yes, in the 80s they put that blue cage up so that Hulk Hogan could hobble his fucking chubby ass over the top there. But that's how cage this was set up to be a
I was a fan of the big blue monster.
I mean, everybody was, but it's that was a different time. It was a different monster. This was meant because these two guys needed to be locked in a cage so they could beat the living fuck out of each other, and then one of them was going to walk out.
Yeah, because we all know that nobody was going to try to escape. If anybody was going to walk out of the cage, it was going to be because the job was done, and that's exactly what Damian Priest did.
Exactly.
It was beautiful storytelling, and Jesse Ventura fucking ruined it.
He fucking ruined it because it was low effort. Low effort. He had no idea going in. He didn't watch. It was clear that he didn't watch the product. He didn't prepare. He knew nothing. He flew in day of, I'm sure, sat down, fucking blank slate, and just said whatever came to his mind, and it was bullshit. He blew it. He fucking blew it. He blew it as bad as that's not Tommy End. It was that level. It was that's not Tommy End. That's not the man I wrestled in Dusseldorf, Germany.
Thank you for that.
But it's the same level of fucking blowing it. It's low effort bullshit. You can't just be low effort. Okay? That's not what this is. This isn't your fucking home podcast. This isn't some random chooch interview. This is prime time, Saturday night's main event. 5 million people watching. Fucking do your homework, you chooch. Or don't fucking come. Stay home. Tell them you got the runs. Jesse. I think we need to be done with Jesse. And I would not be if Jesse shows up to the next one, I'll be stunned. Stunned. And I will call Triple H a chooch for letting it happen. Because that chooch needs to stay home. He can be done now. That's enough. All good. Bye-bye. Go home. You don't watch the product. You know what the fuck's going on. You're not up on anything. You don't even do the bare minimum. Go home. It would have taken you a 15-minute YouTube watch to not sound like a fucking idiot on Saturday. You didn't do 15 minutes of homework for your, I'm sure, what was more than $1 million payday. Go the fuck home. We're done with you, you chooch. Fuck off.
In the main event, Jey Uso defeats Logan Paul by pinfall with some extra sauce added on top.
Also really liked it.
I was really concerned that they were going to take the belt off Jey Uso. I'm not going to lie.
There were moments where I was like, oh God.
I mean, they're going to, like, he's not going to beat Gunther twice. Like, there's no.
Maybe not. I think that ends because it's on Monday. So I think that ends in some sort of disqualification. But that's like, so I saw a theory, and I think I have a chupacabra, by the way. I saw a theory on the internet is that like Jey is just what this becomes is Jey trying to just be, to try to prove to everybody that he is the best world champion and he is the guy. And everybody, we start maybe seeing it now. Everybody's starting to tell him, especially after the Monday after, or even the week after the Money in the Bank and that Monday after and everything, maybe Jimmy comes out and tells him and everything is like, hey man, look, you need to slow down. Like it's too, you can't fight everybody every week all the time. You can't fight everything. You can't be like you got to slow down. You're going to burn out. You're going to hurt yourself. Something's bad's going to happen, man. Something bad's going to happen. And you got to calm down. Like Jimmy's got to say it. Maybe Cody's got to say it. Everybody's got to be like, buddy, you got to chill out. You got to chill the fuck out. And then somebody's going to come and be, Mr. Opportunity. Probably Seth Rollins, probably after he wins Money in the Bank. It'll probably be, maybe a month or two down the road. But like Jey will just be fucking hobbled out. He'll have beat all comers. Who's fucking next? Oh, 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 oh. And like you'll hear the music. Seth will come walking down. Jey will just get smashed by.
Bro, I was about to ask if you were talking about Jungle Boy with that fucking music reenactment there.
Oh, oh,
that's a little bit better, but okay. You definitely were sounding real Jungle Boy over there.
Well, that's the.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Anyway, so I think that's probably where we're headed. Some level of like Jey Uso beating on all comers. Come on, I could do this all day. And then just him getting fucking mauled by Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. And then Rollins just coming out and giving him a stomp, giving him another stomp, cashing in. Maybe him kicking out of that second stomp, right? Like maybe Seth just goes for a quick pin and Jey still kicks out and Seth's like, what the hell? And like Michael Cole's like, oh God, he's going to do it. He's going to do it. And then Seth just stomps him like 3 more times and just like buries him in there and just like 1, 2, 3 and it's over. And Seth takes the title away and leaves after like a beaten, battered, bruised Jey Uso just has fought the whole locker room. Every heel punched him in the face at least once. And Rollins finally came out and just took it over. And now it's like, back of the line, buddy, kind of a thing. And yeah, so I mean, I've seen that and I think that could be really cool too. And there's so much good happening on Raw that like it's starting to feel like SmackDown is again becoming like the B show.
Well, I think that's where the best wrestle.
On SmackDown.
Yeah. I
mean,
think those are some of the best wrestling matches of the fucking entire week on SmackDown.
I mean, you're right. They are, but like they all sort of don't mean anything at the end of the day.
I mean, I'll agree to disagree.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just like they just don't ever end up becoming a part of anything, and it's just
Well,
like
it's just because the main title on that show is being held hostage by the upper echelon, the GOAT, the greatest of all time. That's why you feel that way.
I mean, maybe I do feel. Maybe that's why. Although the GOAT does seem to show up on that show and take somebody else's finisher in the first segment every week.
Yeah, I mean, just saying, he's there. So
he's there. Yeah. Well, I mean, if The Rock would show up, maybe it would be better.
Oh, here we go. You know what? No, I like what we got. I like that John Cena fucking had the little backstage spot with Jey Uso and then came out and was a part of this main event on Saturday night's main event.
Yeah, for sure. I thought it was great.
And then we got a returning Cody Rhodes.
And now we got a match that
was supposed to be Travis Scott.
Yeah.
I think it's way better with Logan Paul.
Oh, yeah. I would take Logan Paul every day and twice on Sunday before I would take Travis Scott ever again.
Like, it's awesome. I bought a pair of Travis Scott shoes this past week. Finally got a pair.
Did it cost you another mortgage or
no? I hit a raffle.
Oh, even better. Good for you.
Awesome.
Good for you.
Got to pay retail. I mean, they're not like everybody's favorite Travis Scott shoe, but I like them, and now I've got one.
That's all that matters.
I like them a lot, actually.
Are they in your size?
They are ridiculously comfortable.
They're in your size?
Yes.
Well, then you clearly won.
Yes. They're ridiculously comfortable. So
I feel like you're very lucky because you're like one size up from like where everybody else wants to be.
Yeah, but I'm not really that lucky because those are the first sizes that kind of go away. Yeah. Because they don't make nearly as many.
That makes sense. They make a lot of 11s and 12s.
So
and 10s.
John Cena is still the last real champion, right? Did you happen to notice the cartoon, like the comic book panel that we kept getting fed on Friday night?
So Friday I was at Metallica, so I did not see that.
So, I had mentioned it earlier about LA Knight possibly winning Money in the Bank and, possibly being the one that beats John Cena for the World Championship. The internet's having a lot of fun because this, like, comic book pane was like a mural on this random brick wall in the backstage area, and they did a lot of backstage segments in front of said mural and from different angles, so you got to see different things. And there was a bunch of folks on this little mural, but the most interesting part was the John Cena drawing that was holding the belt had only one person hanging on his back, and that was LA Knight.
LA Knight.
So the internet's picking that ball up and running, and just interested to see what you think.
So, man, what if LA Knight wins? I mean, because you can get the title on Seth Rollins plenty of other ways that aren't Money in the Bank. Although Finn ate the pin again. Finn Balor has not been in a match where he has not been pinned. I swear to God, it's been 2 years.
Yeah, but you know what? He still doesn't lose his aura.
He doesn't. But at the same time, I swear to God, it's been 2 years since the guy's been in a match where he wasn't the one to get pinned. That being said, no, if they put the belt, if they put if they put that on LA Knight and he just comes out as like just an opportunist, because I mean, and that makes sense too, because like and that he would just take it off John Cena. Take it and leave. I saved wrestling. Yeah, you're
Wouldn't that
welcome.
be cool? It'd be awesome for him. I think
It would be awesome for him. And even if he doesn't hold the title that long, as is kind of the way with Money in the Bank winners, I do believe, though, whomever wins Money in the Bank needs to win the title when they cash it in. And they need to hold it for at least more than that night. That's my only thought in that, is that I feel like, is particularly with the men's Money in the Bank, they've too often kind of cheap out with it, and like somebody like just either takes a like when Austin Theory had it, he won the US title. Why? No. Do something else. When like with Priest, I mean, with Priest and Drew, like Priest did a good job, but like they let Drew have it for 5 minutes. So it's like, I feel like whomever does it needs to beat John Cena or Jey Uso. And it doesn't need to be like, well, it goes to this guy and then it goes immediately. It can't hot potato. It just needs to be like a 1-to-1 trade, kind of like what they do with Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton. It needs to go to whomever the next in line is. That person needs to take it, have at least a couple month run with it. Whether, LA Knight holds it for, from Money in the Bank through up until SummerSlam or whatever, it just needs to be a couple months.
I mean, I agree, especially if you're going to take it off of John Cena. It's going to have to be pretty meaningful reign after that. So overall, what you think about Saturday night's main event?
I loved it. I thought it was a great show. Very happy. Very, very. I think it was maybe the minus Jesse Ventura's sort of like off-color commentary. I thought it was probably the best edition of Saturday night's main event that we've seen yet. I think it was the most impactful. Was this the third or the fourth one?
I think it was the fourth one.
Okay. I mean, it was absolutely the most impactful thus far. And I think we got a lot of good stuff. I think the low point certainly was the women's U.S. title match. But that being said, I think that may be remedied on Friday. We'll see, because like I said, there's some NXT call-ups coming up. I wouldn't be shocked if Jordynne Grace comes out on Friday, calls her shot, and takes the U.S. title from Zelina Vega. And I don't think anybody would be upset by that at all. So I would hope that might happen. But otherwise, I think that, I mean, I think it sets up a lot of good things.
I guess really I'll just have to eat a big pile of shit this week, huh?
I think
listen, I am quoted as to one of the friends of the show as saying, "Can't wait to hear Tom shit all over this glorified house show."
No, I didn't think it was a glorified house show at all.
Man, that's wild.
Despite
I enjoyed the show too, but like I expected you to just do what you always do.
Hands, I feel like we got a lot of moving forward. We immediately got the revelation of who the third man was going to be, which I feel like has been a tease the whole time. Immediately got the revelation. So like they immediately satiated my like, I need I need something. Give me something. And they're like, boom, here's Bronson Reed.
He's wearing BC3s. I saw the BC3s before I saw Bronson Reed.
I probably did too. I just didn't it didn't click to me.
I said, "Oh, black cements."
I was like, that's a big shoe. Oh, it's Bronson Reed. Because he literally came out and I'm like, fuck yes. Like, so I'm 100%. I'm all on board. Like, I've been on board for that since the beginning, like since it happened at WrestleMania. I'm all on board for this. With Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker in there as the guys coming up with Seth. Just chef's kiss. It's beautiful. And no, everything else I thought was really good. I really liked the main event. I thought the main event was great. I did not expect Logan Paul to win. I'm glad he did
I
not.
mean, I feel like we're going to be coming to the end of this Jey Uso title reign. I don't know, man. I've got this feeling that we're going to see it come to an end before it ever even really gets started.
I mean, that might be true. But I'm glad it didn't end on Saturday, and I think that what came out of it really just sort of sets us. I'm glad to see Cody came back. We saw 2 huge returns on Saturday, which I think is a big deal, and that's I would argue that a post WrestleMania return, especially if it's been a month and a half, couple months, maybe almost 2 months. I feel like that's a big deal. So we got 2 big returns, and I really like that. So I think we'll see, and I think we're going to get more this week. I think this week, I think they're going to sprinkle in some call ups now because of what happened on NXT on Tuesday, which was also a good show. Like, it's just sort of been like banger after banger after banger. It's like must see TV. It's like we're back in the Attitude Era now. Like, you can't miss anything, but it's not just like, oh, we can't miss Monday. It's like I can't miss Monday now. I can't miss Tuesday, and I can't miss Friday. But also, I have to watch every Saturday night's main event or every premium live event. And then
why didn't you mention Wednesday in that?
Because you can miss those and then show back up 3 weeks later and nothing has happened.
Oh, noted. Hey, fellas, Sportertainment guys in the building. Just jumped right in. Feel relaxing here. It's great to be 34 years old. Oh, happy birthday, Bob.
It was great to be 34 years old.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I'm fucking...
6 years ago, it was great to be 34 years old.
Yeah, it was awesome. Still have my whole life ahead of me.
I'm picking out tombstones.
Now it hurts when I poop. I mean, it just...
My knee knows when it rains. It's raining.
Yeah.
When it's raining, my right knee is like, hey, buddy, it's raining. I can see it. There's a window right here. Yeah, but did you know that it's raining?
To be young again.
Youth. Wasted.
Hey, so the coach is like the ultimate Vince McMahon shill these days.
God, him.
Did you hear that he said that Vince was trying to buy WWE back from TKO?
I did. I did hear that. I mean, if he was, that wouldn't shock me, but also, why is the coach the only one reporting this? Like, I don't feel like Jonathan Coachman is a credible source. You know what I mean?
No, I don't think so either.
Like, everything he's said has sort of been like a hot take, and it seems like it's just like more of like he woke up and thought that and was like, I'm just going to mention that on the internet today. Okay. All right, coach. Disagree.
Yeah, I mean, is coach like all of a sudden Vince McMahon's right hand man? Is that what this is?
Well, I mean, his other right hand man has abandoned him. So
yeah, I mean,
does he have a new right hand? Was coach? Did coach get poo on him as well? Did coach have an erection whilst the poo was happening?
I mean, that's a possibility. Coach
These
might
are
have
things
been
we
right
need to ask the coach. Can we get the coach on our show?
I mean, probably.
Oh, you saying Jonathan Coachman is a whore?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Hey, so I'm wondering if Jonathan Coachman, is he one of those people that got the pictures got passed around to?
I mean, is he in the pictures?
I mean, he might be. Yeah, it seems to be this way. He's got Vince McMahon on his mind. It's
I mean, he wasn't named in the lawsuit, but
not yet. But hey, Judge, my name's Johnny Ace, and now let me tell you about Jonathan Coachman.
Wee, little piggy, wee.
Listen, I feel like I need to pull the show when we talked about this for the first time about Johnny Ace being implicated in this and how he felt like he was off on an island because WWE didn't help pay for his legal counsel. You know what I mean? Remember when we talked about all this when
We
this
did,
all
yes,
first
vividly. I actually rewatched a little bit of this earlier because I
did
knew
we
it was
happen did we happen to mention in that episode that this might happen, that Johnny Ace would
I think we did. I think it was you actually you were just like, they should just like give Johnny Ace a plea deal so that he'll squeal. I think you might have said he'll squeal, or maybe I said he'll squeal.
I don't remember who said it, but I think somebody said it. I could be wrong. I haven't watched it, but it just really feels like we talked about this.
We knew that he was
being a possibility.
That he was the weak link in all of this, and like he would just say whatever he wanted. And in fact, the press release today said that John Laurinaitis was just excited, wanted to get his life back to normal. He really wanted to do that. He didn't think that when he was in the room getting a BJ while the boss was shitting on some girl's head, that at some point he would be implicated in some such of a lawsuit. That he just wants to go home. Like he's really the victim. The guy with the erection in some girl with poop on her head's mouth is really the guy who's the victim here. So he is going to comply with the prosecution because he's the victim here and he just wants to get back to his normal life. He just wants to get life back to normal. I just want to drive my Mercedes without people laughing at me. I just want to go out to dinner without people laughing at me. They're laughing at me. It's your fucking joke. Fucking squealy little pig fucking bitch. God. What an awful person.
I don't think that I was prepared for your snitches get stitches.
What an
point of view here.
What an awful person Johnny Ace is. Like, can we agree on that at least? What an awful person he is.
I mean, self-preservation, Bob.
I'm just saying, like, literally every human that's ever met him is just like, what an awful person. And like, here he is now. He just wants to get back to his life. Oh, just wants his life to go back to normal. If only he could just go back to normal. Please, can my life just go back to like?
I can't wait until McMahon's counsel releases a statement on this.
Oh my god,
I can't wait.
I can't wait till they cross-examine him. Oh, please cross-examine.
I can't wait. I cannot wait for the statement that is going to be released, because at this point, I don't think this trial is ever going to happen.
No.
Like this to me feels so PR, like island of relevancy at this point.
This whole thing is nonsense at this point.
I'm just not here for it anymore. And it's like
the only reason
we concluded the financial investigation, and now we're the SEC financial investigation, and all those charges were dropped, and like and this feels like every fucking couple of months something minor changes, or one side said the defendant says something about McMahon, and then and tries to rehash it. And listen, I get it, okay? I'm not an attorney. I don't understand what the whole process is, and I'm sorry that the plaintiff feels some sort of way in all of these things, but it's like shit or get off the fucking pot here.
So here's the problem. Here's the problem with this. So I don't practice clearly in any of this, but like I do have a law degree. I mean, but I'm in fucking tax law and retirement. It's not even kind of the same. Nobody poops on anybody in tax law and in retirement. Okay, and if they do, it doesn't come to me. Anyway, what this seems like to me is though somebody was a very willing participant in everything that was going on, and then somebody was not paid, which is a legal proceeding. But the problem is that the pay did not come to fruition. Now, is Vince McMahon a scumbag for not paying? Absolutely. Is Vince McMahon a scumbag for everything that he's done? Absolutely. Regardless of whether or not everything in this trial is true or not, Vince McMahon is a scumbag. We have known this since we were 13 years old. Vince McMahon is a scumbag. But if you're going to get involved with a scumbag, a very known, like, this is not a fucking new thing. Vince McMahon was a scumbag 10 years before you got involved with Vince McMahon, who is a scumbag. You're going to get involved with a scumbag for money, and then said scumbag doesn't pay you money for doing scumbag shit with him that he said he was going to pay money. You are a victim, yes, but you are a victim who was not paid your money. You are not a victim because of what happened to you. What you did willingly because you thought there was money. And then you tried to take the money away, and then you got mad about it. And you told your girlfriend about it, and she said, you let that old man poop on your head.
Oh, my God.
And now here we are. And now you've got Johnny A squealing like a pig because that's what he is. But now this isn't like this is circus now. Like, nobody's gonna win or lose. Nothing bad. Nothing more bad. Like, Vince McMahon's already out. Okay, and thankfully Vince McMahon's out. So, like, honestly, what she did for the wrestling community is probably better than anybody's ever done. Like, she probably gave us more of a gift as the wrestling community than anybody else has ever given us in our entire lives. Because she got old senile Vince McMahon, who could not put two and two together, who could not paste a storyline together from week to week. She got him out, and they installed a guy who understands, what happens, in November still matters in fucking September, like, of the following year. So, like, now we've got coherent storylines.
What are you talking about? That he knows that what matters on November 1st matters on November 8th.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, exactly. So, we've got a guy who's stringing things together week to week that makes sense. And WWE wrestling makes sense. Even if it's just like kind of a continuation of things that made sense last week, and we're just going to rehash it, but then we're going to progress it a little bit, and we're going to, like, great. Like, it doesn't have to be fucking Shakespeare every week. It just has to be pro wrestling every week. And it doesn't have to be batshit fucking crazy, like, oh, we're just going to forget about this person that existed because now they're fired, but they were going to get a main event title shot, and now they're fired. And now we've got this new guy, but now he's fired. And where are we? Where am I? Who are I? Hey, there's Brock Lesnar. Like, and that was literally the last 5 years of the Vince McMahon reign. Was what's going on? Who are we? Where am I? Hey, there's Brock Lesnar. Hey, there's Roman Reigns. Oh, Seth Rollins gets the title every great now and then too. We like him. Sheamus! Like, it was fucking schizophrenia out here. It was like ADHD squirrel. Okay, so she gave all of us a gift by removing Vince McMahon. Look, she paid the ultimate price. He pooped on her head. And I know for a fact that happened. That fucking happened. And Johnny Ace was in the room when that happened. Do I think that anybody involved in any of that was the victim or an unwilling participant? No, I don't. But that being said, All three of those people saved wrestling so that John Cena could ruin it for all of us. Am I wrong?
Yes, Judge. Yes. Yes, he did poop on her head. And then he said, "Oh, that's good shit, pal." Ha ha ha.
He threw toilet paper and hit me in the face.
Oh my god, dude.
I went
This
soft
is
immediately.
this it's too much, man. It's just too much.
Right? It's too much. It's too much. Like we just can't anymore. Like I'm happy that this is happening outside of like, and it's just like it all got immediately carved out, and like the big money stepped in and bought it, and just like pushed him out, and they were like, "You don't get to do this anymore." And it wasn't it. It's not that he's a depraved asshole and he's a scumbag, and like all that stuff's true, but it's just that the product sucked, and it suffered because he couldn't fucking keep his days straight. He couldn't remember who was who. And it was like, oh, The Rock gave me this egg. Like, but what the fuck? What? Are we fucking serious? Like, The Rock
Yeah,
gave
but
you this egg?
that was a cross promotional thing with The Rock's Netflix movie.
Right. Yeah. But The Rock gave me this egg. Austin Theory. Go take a selfie with this egg. Like, fucking enough. Enough was enough. Thankfully, he pooped on a girl.
Oh,
And it got him forced out. So we don't have to watch that bullshit anymore. Because,
okay.
like, am I wrong? And now Johnny Ace is going to squeal about it, and he's going to say things that are going to be really funny, and we're going to laugh about it because we're not mature enough to hear what Johnny Ace is going to say. And Johnny Ace is not mature enough to say what he's going to say. So he's good.
Oh, hey, Judge. Yeah. He told me to give her a Tennessee Thompson Twisty. And, yeah.
Okay, I did it, Judge. But I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I just can't anymore. And he's going to be part of the prosecution. And he's gonna fix his suit when he walks off. Like, I just fucking can't anymore. I can't with Johnny Ace anymore. I couldn't with Johnny Ace 10 years ago. I just fucking can't with him now. Like, this guy should have been. Like, I'm surprised nobody, like, they didn't find him beaten to death in a backstage at a WWE event, like just a house show somewhere. He probably didn't go to those. That's probably why.
No, because he was at he was at the Vince McMahon sex parties.
Right. Yeah, he went to those. Pal, can't wait to. What's most shocking to me about all of that is that, like, if you look at the timelines of like the things when they were submitted, because everything's time stamped, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like she gave the time stamped, like, okay, on X date, this is when he pooped on my head. Then she like submitted texts post that date where she's like, oh baby, it'll be okay, baby. Let's just go here. You promised me, let's go to Hawaii. Let's like, and it's just like, I don't know what point she decided that she was a victim. And I'm glad she did, because, you know, like I said, like that got Vince out. But
shit.
at the same time, like, it seems as though like she wasn't a victim until he didn't pay her the other $2 million.
Okay.
Because she told her friend that he pooped on her head. Like, am I wrong in saying that? Like, that
listen,
happened.
Listen,
like, is that not following the logic?
I got an interesting version of you today, I must say.
I'm just following the logic.
I was not expecting your stance on some things.
So you gave me time because we were going to talk, but like, and I got home and it was like 7:00, and I'm like, well, we're too close to like me doing doing something else. So let me read into this so that I can get my timeline straight. And I'm like, oh yeah. And now I'm just like, this really doesn't add up. And that's really where we are. And that's why things keep getting dismissed. And now Johnny Ace is going to flip because he's a fucking squealy pig. And it's like, I hope in the end of this, Johnny Ace is the only one that goes to jail.
Hey, Tom, that's not very nice.
And I hope bad things happen to him in jail. Really bad. I hope somebody poops on him.
Listen, he's too good looking of a man to go to fucking jail.
I hope somebody poops on his head in jail. Wouldn't that be the ultimate irony in all of this? This is what gets Johnny Ace pooped on in jail. Just fucking greasy ass cafeteria food pooped on.
Jeez. All right. We've got one piece of business left here. Tom, what's your match of the week?
It was the main event of Monday Night Raw, the triple threat for the main event, or the Money in the Bank ladder match qualifying, which was Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor versus, I don't remember. Seth Rollins pins Finn Balor after a fantastic match. Oh my god. Great match. Went the way I expected it to go. Everybody kind of smashes everybody, and then Seth Rollins wins. Seth Rollins will be in the main event of the men's ladder match at Money in the Bank. Likely will win, but we'll see what happens from here. Finn Balor ate the pin, which is what I expected, but I still am a fan of Finn. I still like to see him wrestle. This was a great Finn Balor. Finn almost won, and then Dominic showed up and like fucked Finn over because like he was like, "Here's a chair. Oh my god, your head smash." Just good shit, man. Very so many things coming out of this. So many branching storylines, so many veins coming out because it's like, well, obviously, Seth stomped Finn's head and pinned Finn because his head was stomped into a chair. But like, what did Dominic do now? Now we're gonna break at the Judgment Day. This is like so many things are coming out of this that like it was just, and then Punk showing up at the end, and Punk sort of getting the last laugh on Seth Rollins, and everybody else running out, and like just good stuff. And it's just like I really like when like everything just ends in chaos, and everything's falling apart, but like everything's building up all at the same time. So like the orchestrated chaos, we'll say, was really what sort of like drew me in. Plus, it was just a good match between guys that really fucking know what they're doing. So yeah, main event, Raw this week, match of the week, no question.
All right. My match of the week comes from Saturday night's main event, and it was R-Truth versus John Cena.
Yeah.
I loved it that you called it a segment, you know what I'm saying? But I loved what it really represented to the wrestling fan, and it probably meant a whole lot more to those two guys than it did to the wrestling fan, to the wrestling audience. And they had I'm sure they had a lot of fun with it. R-Truth coming out to John Cena's music, acting like old school John Cena, dressed like John Cena, doing the 5 moves of doom. Just really leaning into the John Cena's my childhood hero thing. A way to put a bow on that story as John makes his exit, on his WWE career. I really appreciated that part of it. So that's why it's my match of the week.
For sure. I loved all the lead up to that, by the way. Most of it happened sort of behind the scenes. So I hope that like everybody got the full palette of it, because like that would be my only criticism, is that a lot of it happened like it started at the press conference. There were some backstage interviews that could have been missed here or there. It was a very subtle build, but like I thought that it was very meaningful, and it all felt very like apropos. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
did. I liked it a lot. So that's my match of the week. All right, bud. Well, I think that's about it, huh? Glad we could pull this together last minute. I appreciate your flexibility. It's been an interesting couple of weeks in my
it was
world.
good. Well, we had a good show anyway because we had to watch everything. We'd tie it all together.
I haven't watched Raw, so
Well, it tied together in a bow. It was a beautiful bow, and once you watch Raw, you'll be like, it was a beautiful bow. Tom did a great job tying it all together. What a good friend he is. He just ties all the bows together, and it's a beautiful present every week. And this was a beautiful gift to our listeners. What a wonderful 1 hour and 50-minute show that we have put together for our listeners.
Yep.
Cheers to us for being so fucking good at this.
Check us out over on Twitter and Instagram at @1_FallWC. That's ONE. If you're still hanging out with us, man, we appreciate you. Go ahead and consider hitting that subscribe button. Throw us a thumbs up. We'd greatly appreciate it. And as always, thanks for hanging out. It's all love. We'll get you next week. One Fall WrestleCast. That was fun.